That's a perfect frame, actually.
Cool.
Bavarian maybe works. It might work. I don't know.
How long ago did you put this lift in here? I remember you calling me like a week or two ago about it.
Oh, I finished the video like a couple nights ago.
Okay.
So I'll leave a link to that video in the description.
I'm trying not to do anything, but it's something right here.
It's purple.
No, it wouldn't take it off. It's
It wouldn't?
No, it's like pressed it on there. It's like dried glue or something.
You have the ISO bottle over there?
I do.
Okay. I had to empty the SD card onto my storage server and redo it because off of like making 3 videos, I basically filled up my 256.
Really?
Yeah.
The fuck is
Because
outside?
there's no time-lapse function.
Oh.
There's no time-lapse function on that camera, so I can't shoot a time-lapse. We'll have to sand the rust there. I'm just gonna let this roll, I think, the entire time.
Okay. How good are your latches?
Oh, for the window here?
Yeah.
That'll work fine.
No, yeah, I'm saying, can you pop it?
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot reach them up here. Can you get it from the trunk?
Short boy.
I have long arms. What?
I have a little. It's because the lift is up right now. I can't reach it. That is a lot easier, you're right. I can do it because it's lowered most of the time from the door.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go.
That way I can get in here.
Yeah, and you can see the edge of the paint right there too.
Yeah.
So we can just wrap up to that and then we're good. This hasn't been like this clean in a while. Let me. Oh, I need to clean my lens. Hang on.
Oh no, I'm cutting it. Like I'm cutting the. Actually, do you have the panel?
There we go.
Do you have the panel?
The panel for the wide body, yes. It's in the trunk. We'll have to warm that other corner up because it's bowed now.
Pretty much up to here. There's gonna be you're gonna have a lot of scrap with this one. That's just how it's gonna be.
How do you do edges of the wrap that have to meet each other?
So there you can technically you want knifeless tape, but I'm gonna do it to where I'm gonna try to make it have body lines. So
Yeah.
We're gonna want something 65 inches long. We're gonna want something 65 inches long. So that's how long the sheet's gonna have to be.
Okay.
So we that out.
Cut it a sheet. No.
Because I measured like 4 inches more than we need. So that way we have room to play. It won't spin.
Oh, yes. You're right.
Let me pull a couple more inches, and then we'll cut it down the middle. Alright, right there.
This needs to get bondoed before it's wrapped.
I mean,
Forgot about that. See, this is why I wanted to like.
you can't. I mean, you can do the other side, but
Well, yeah.
I can just clean the other side.
Yeah, we can.
We decided to start on the other side since I didn't know what I wanted to do with the antenna hole yet, and the rear quarters seemed like the best place to start since the front still needs rebuilding.
Well, I was almost thinking that like somebody needs to hold and stretch this for me while I keep pushing this across.
What you have to do is a thing called glassing.
This is Tucker. He's one of the media guys for Mountainside Media, the car club that I'm in. I'll leave a link to some of their stuff down in the description. Definitely go check it out.
Which is
where you, before anything, you heat up the wrap, not really hot to where it's kind of melting, you just kind of warm it up, and then you pull it and lay it down. And then you pull it and lay it down until it lays flat.
mostly flat anyway,
Yeah.
and then you push the bubbles out.
Yeah, so for
Okay.
this,
Well, I've got the heat gun over here.
learning that trick helped so much with when I did my wrap.
How do you do this alone?
I did most of my car alone.
I didn't know you could heat it that much. I always put it on low and just barely warmed it because I was afraid of.
Oh yeah, you can crack.
Okay. That's good to know because I barely heated that side at all.
Yeah.
And so it may just get way better if we've heated it enough.
So I had tried to wrap the front left over fender myself, but I had some trouble, so I had Tucker help me finish it. He also demonstrated wrapping the driver door, and by demonstrated, well, basically he did it all for me.
Alright guys, so I'm back in the garage, and what you probably saw last was me and Tucker wrapping this panel, which just now I have gone back in and tucked everything into the corners here, and I've gotten the edges cut here, and I've also done this mirror. So now we have this mirror wrapped. This is actually a new mirror as well. I have to do the other one as well. I need to find the new passenger mirror though. I'm not sure where I put it.
I have since found it.
But I've gotten this mostly wrapped. There's like spots here and there, but you know, that's to be expected. It's my first time wrapping a car, so I've also taken the side skirt off. I have it laying over there now. But I'll have to clean all this up just because I want to. And then that also needs to get cleaned up before I wrap the side skirt. Over on this side though, I've had to put some patches in, like here, because this corner got really bad. But I'm just gonna have to be okay with having patches on this car because it's not gonna be perfect. I'm not very good at wrapping, but considering that I've never done this before, I would say most of this has turned out quite smooth, and I'm getting better and better as I go, just learning how wrapping goes. So I've gotten around this corner and everything, kind of wrapped inside, and then I'll have to take this side skirt off before I wrap this all the way down. I've actually wrapped around this a couple of times, which there's a seam right here, but I don't think that should be too big of an issue. And now this panel is done, and once I've taken the side skirt off and officially finished it, we can just slap this panel on top of there and wrap it, which should be much easier than wrapping this part, because this one's also less of a panel. Alright, so I've got this panel wiped down, and it has kind of a matte texture to it, but that shouldn't show through the wrap too bad because the wrap is matte anyway. And I just got a screw here and a screw here, and then I'm going to start putting it all the way through, or all the way across the bump section here first, I believe. So I'm here to wrap the mirror, and it's pretty dark out, so I actually have my shutter set to 6. So if it looks extremely choppy, that's why. but it lets a lot more light in the sensor so you guys can see. And most of this is gonna be time lapse, I suppose. So I'm just gonna grab my other piece of wrap off the section of door that I did here, because this will be good enough to wrap a mirror with. I'm just gonna cut a strip of it off. Now this is a terrible cut, but I don't care because it's big enough to fit across the whole mirror. It's a mirror wrapped. Now you can see I've cut out the line right there and it looks pretty sharp. I'm just gonna take the camera off the tripod now though. And there we are. You can kind of see some of the detail in that. And I've tucked these corners in better than the other side, I think. Because the other side has some funky looking edges. I'll show you that here. The other side has like this. All this going on, which I can probably heat up and push in with the tool, but I'll see. So I have this drag style ducktail for the car from Click Tuning, and I have already cut a little section out of here for this to start fitting because this is designed for a sedan. So that is centered, but I'll have to do a little bit more trimming here. There's also a little bit of trimming on the bottom for fitment that I need to do as well. I'm also going to take this little weather strip out of here, hopefully without damaging it too badly. So I think I will need a new piece for this, but this is all universal trim that you can buy. I just found out recently, both for the front and the back. You can just buy this and cut it to size for any BMW, Rover. It even listed Rolls-Royce because that's a BMW brand now. But I'll leave an AliExpress link in the description for the stuff that I bought for the front and rear of my car. I haven't gotten it in yet, but hopefully it's some good stuff, so we'll see. So I have found out that on the back of the hatch here, this piece is actually separate. I'll open the hatch here to get a good angle and show you. And right here, there's just these plastic grommets that it screws in by. So that should make that all easier to wrap. And I think this shouldn't look too bad. Even this scratch I think should get mostly covered up. Actually, I'll put a piece of wrap on that right now and show you how that'll look. As you can see, the scratch does show through a little bit, but with as many other paint imperfections as there are like that, I don't really have time to worry about all of them, so I think I'm going to take a long section of this vinyl here and just do this piece out of that. So I'm going to have to rewrap this whole piece because this inside, I didn't think this was going to be critical, but the inside is not clean. And that has caused major problems with right here where you put your hands to open the trunk. And that's going to bother me if it bubbles up and everything. So I'm going to have to thoroughly clean this piece before I put a new piece of wrap on it. Such is life. It took me like an hour and a half to wrap this, but I had to do some patches inside of here. This is where your hands go, and this bit just does not want to stretch into there without doing something. So, especially when it has to be all the way from here around this tight radius and then into another almost 90. It's stretching so far that it's hard to do that, but I think this is as close as I'm gonna get right now. So, new angle here. I've got the tripod on top of the toolbox, and it kind of feels neat. I don't know why. I just kind of like it. Because now it's like at the top corner of the garage, pointing down at the car. Also, these rear tires are barely touching the ground now. I did lower it just a little bit so the angle would be just that much better, but anyway, I'm gonna start with some quick detailer here because I need to get this paint cleaned off. I did mostly clean it with just an isopropyl wipe last night, but I really only wrapped that hatch handle last night and I didn't do much else other than cleaning the roof. But I just like to clean it again to make sure it's perfectly clean before I lay a sheet wrap across it. Alright, so now I guess it's time to wrap the hatch. So I'm going to start again with some isopropyl alcohol here and get the hatch totally clean. I'm also just trying to get some dust off of the glass so that it doesn't fall down onto the paint. I've done some sanding over here on this side where the badge used to be, just to make sure that the outline of the badge doesn't show up through the wrap. Now that I believe that is clean enough, I'm just going to come under here and grab my sheet of wrap. So I actually found this gasket piece available on AliExpress. Just goes all the way across the hatch back here. Alright, now I got this panel to wrap. I want to see if this short piece will fit. Oh, it should. So I know this looks kind of ridiculous here, but I do still need to spray what has begun to rust here already, because we did some of the wide body part and then it sat outside for a while. So these need to get covered somewhat. But there are some holes inside of here still, so I think I might JB weld them first. I'm just gonna lay a couple of coats of primer on this.